Joe Biden set to sign an executive order directing his administration to review key U.S. supply chains from overseas. The order doesn't specifically mention China, but it's likely meant to see how dependent we are on exports and imports from China. This comes as China is reportedly buying land in Texas to try to build wind farms to manufacture windmills. But lawmakers feel this could be actually a backdoor for Beijing to get into the United States electric grid. Joining me now to discuss this, among other things, Pennsylvania Congressman and member of the House Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committee, Guy Reschenthaler. Congressman, always great to see you. There's growing fallout over Biden's comments about China's President Xi. Listen to this.
I'm not going to speak out against what he's doing in Hong Kong, what he's doing with the Uyghurs in Western mountains of China, and Taiwan trying to end the one China policy by making it forceful. I said, and by the he said he gets it. Culturally, there are different norms.
So an American president is not going to speak out against human rights abuses, and everybody in the mainstream press says that's okay. What say you, Congressman?
First, Chris, thanks for having me on. As always, I always enjoy it. But, I was absolutely disgusted when I heard Biden making those remarks, because here's the leader of the free world coming across as a doddering man on a stage who's vacillating and, frankly, kowtowing to the Chinese Communist Party. And I think it's absolutely atrocious that Joe Biden would not call out dictator Xi. I won't call him president because he's not duly elected. He's the leader of the Chinese Communist Party for life. But he won't call out Xi for the concentration camps in Western China with the Muslim minority population there. He won't call out China for taking over Hong Kong, which violated an international agreement. Remember, Hong Kong was a free market, democratic city-state that was supposed to be free and independent from the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese completely international agreement, and the world said nothing. Additionally, you heard nothing from Joe Biden calling out China for their aggression and their harassment of Taiwan. You also heard nothing about the forced intellectual property transfers. The Chinese forced American companies to transfer our tech and IP. And then, of course, the surveillance state that is modern-day China right now. It's not surprising that Biden is soft on China. Hunter Biden clearly has strong ties with China, coming back on Air Force Two when Joe Biden was the vice president, coming back to the United States with about $1 billion in investment from the Chinese Communist Party. The mainstream media says nothing about that. But this is a dangerous tact for Joe Biden to take. Showing softness, weakness, and vacillating on the international stage will only invite more aggression from China.
Forbes magazine articulated that China is now bragging that they have a first strike capability of detonating an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP bomb, that would basically cripple the U.S. electric grid. And of course, I'm wondering, is Mr. Biden going to speak out about that? And if Mr. Biden won't, Congressman, will you do that? Will you speak out against that?
Well, I've been very vocal, Chris, on China, as you know. I consider myself a hawk on China, and rightfully so. We look at their aggression. But just this week, I introduced a bill that Prevent Invasion of Taiwan Act with Senator Scott of Florida. And what this bill does is, if it passes, it will automatically give the President of the United States the authority to defend Taiwan if Taiwan is directly attacked by the Chinese Communist Party. Additionally, it calls for a bilateral trade agreement between the United States and Taiwan to strengthen both economies and lead to more free trade between our two democratic states. And additionally, it calls for more cooperation militarily between Taiwan and the United States. Coincidentally, and important to note, the Taiwanese military trains in all English, because they assume that in any engagement, they will be fighting alongside us. This is a free democratic state, and we need to defend our brother and sister democracies if they are attacked by communist regimes.
Well, no, I understand that. And that leads me to my last question. And you and I are going to expand on this in a program that we're going to put together for next week. But when you have the Democrat socialist occupier of the Oval Office, when you have his political party in charge, and the media that is in the back pocket of that political party, looking the other way to human rights abuses, looking the other way in actual physical threats to the United States electric grid, and also the growing military menace that is China. How confident are you that this country even has the wherewithal to stand up against aggressors like China trying to steal and rob people of their rights and liberties and their freedoms around the globe? It doesn't seem to me like the opposition party gives a damn. What do you think?
Let's get one thing straight. We're the United States of America. If we want to do something, we can do it. The problem is that we have a party, a Democrat party, that for some reason feels obligated to kowtow to China. Additionally, we have a corporate elite that feels like they need to sell out America and our interests to the Chinese Communist Party. And you did mention the electromagnetic pulse issue. Look, that is a legitimate concern that I have. But I'm also incredibly concerned about cyber attacks from China. I'm incredibly concerned about them taking their Navy from what's called a brown water fleet, meaning it just stays around the shore, to a blue water fleet where they can project naval power into the Pacific. I'm concerned about China setting up debt traps with third world countries around the globe where they get access to important places like the Panama Canal or various water access points. This should all alarm us. And I'm alarmed, additionally, that the Republicans are the only ones that are talking about this. And you're right. The mainstream media, Hollywood, the ruling elite, they refuse to call out China because they profit on that.
Yeah. Congressman, you are talking about this, and some others who care about the United States and freedom are talking about this, but there are some in your political party that think that the biggest threat to America is Donald J. Trump, and they're still on that. You and I are going to expand this conversation next week, and we're going to let the American people know just how badly the Socialist Democrats and the current occupier of the Oval Office is selling us out to Communist China, sir. I appreciate the time